I would argue that this is bullish consolidation, but possibly we're just going to go down to go up. That makes more sense. It makes more. It's not, I mean, the price isn't just going to go up, is it? It's possibly going to go down first, get people bearish to go up. Yeah. Question is, how far down does it go? Is it going to go down all the way to here? It never does it? It's not just going to do that. It would have to kind of do that like that. It would have to, you know, have to go down in waves. You have to see how it goes down. But, you know, like there are some levels here where the price could easily find support just close by, you know, like there or there, like a scalp there, maybe more of a stronger area here at about 101k. That's kind of my area, about 101. But you know, the price of Bitcoin, it always overshoots, doesn't it? It always overshoots. So you say 100 or 101 and the price goes down to 99. Are you wrong? No, you're not wrong. It's just that it's harder to trade, isn't it? So what you are looking for is a reaction. You're looking for a reaction in your area of interest. The area of interest is based on confluence. The confluence is based on lines of liquidity where it kind of converges. At the moment, I think about 101 is a good area. But you know, Bitcoin is Bitcoin. Bitcoin can do a lot of crazy shit, and it could easily push down to lower. And if it does, and I'll show you what I mean. If Bitcoin is doing crazy shit, and it does kind of bounce and then go down and then fuck a duck, it just wants to go lower. Would you long? No. You'd have to wait for strength then. So you don't long weakness. It's looking weak. You can't long that. You could long it if you saw strength off a reaction in your area of interest, you know, like either here or here. But if you start losing levels, that's weakness. You can't long weakness. Yeah. You can only long strength or swing failures. Yeah. So in the context here, you have a really nice swing failure scalp. So you could long a swing failure for a scalp. You never know. The scalp could end up being a really nice fuck me go to the moon long. Yeah. Who knows? So you long, if you have a trade plan and you get a reaction off a swing failure, you could long that. But here you get a reaction, you could long it because you have an invalidation. But if you don't get the reaction, or if the reaction is weak, you can't long. You have to wait for strength. What is strength? Well, it's to reclaim the area that you lost. You'd have to go back up, reclaim it, find support, then you can long it. Yeah. So you're longing strength, or you're longing a reaction into your area of interest, or a swing failure. But if you're losing your area of interest, if you're not showing enough a reaction, the reaction isn't strong enough, or you're losing it, you can't long. You can't long hoping that the price is just going to get back up. You have to wait for the price to get back up, wait for the price to come back and test. Once you get a nice test, you have a tight invalidation off a back test, of a reclaimed area of interest, of a reclaimed area, then you can long. Does that make sense? So you're longing strength, you're longing a good reaction off your area of interest. But if you're not getting a reaction off your area of interest, if it's not strong enough, better not to take trades. Better to wait and see what happens. Yeah. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, and it's always the same. It's never not this. It's never different. It's not like, oh my god, this is different. This trade is the special trade which tries to fuck everyone. It's always the same. Yeah. You're looking for signs of strength, for longing, and for shorting, and for signs of weakness. Honestly, I'm seeing weakness. I'm seeing weakness right now. For me, this is looking quite weak. I can see the weakness because I'm also looking at exo charts, which is the order flow, and I'm seeing bearish divergences here on the order flow. I'm also seeing that. Okay, now this is another kind of education. specifically here, look at this fucking long, look at that market long, and look, you see how the CVD went up, market buying, look at that, how much was that, 13 million, and look, the price hardly moved, didn't even move. So you have this market buy, this 13 million market buy, the price didn't move. That's weakness. Yeah, that's bearish divergence. It's showing that the buying is being absorbed by sellers, by limit sellers. They're absorbing the buying, and so you have to be really careful longing now, because that's really bearish. You see that? It's the CVD's gone up and it's made a higher high here, but the price hasn't. The price is actually making lower highs. You see that? The price is making lower highs, the CVD is making higher highs. This is bearish. This is bearish order flow. So when you start seeing bearish order flow, you can't long. You start thinking about, okay, maybe I should short. Okay. And then when it comes to shorting, you need an invalidation or you need an entry. I mean, possibly a good entry. You might not get it. That's the problem. Would be a local swing failure here, which is what I was kind of talking about earlier. Little bearish flag here. If you're going to get a little pump up, take that local high and then a little local swing failure down. That would be a really nice short. Otherwise, the problem with shorting here and now without a clean entry like that is that your invalidation is too wide. So you have too wide, you could get stopped out. That's the problem. And then where do you put your stop? It's really important. Then you have to have a really wide stop. Then you wouldn't be able to take profit because you're not making enough money because your stop is too wide. So you're stuck in you might be in profit, but you might not be able to take profit. You'll be stuck in the trade. Then you're aiming then for much lower, and you just have to be patient. And so in this context, it could work with a wide stop above there. And because if you're bearish, you're not expecting the price to take the high there. Higher highs is bullish, but right now you're seeing bearish divergences. You're looking for, you kind of want a tighter stop. So ideally what you really want to see, if possible, and you might not get it, so that's why trading is a game of patience. You're looking for, like, if you can take that all the way down to there, but the first level of support is the point of control, obviously, so that's your first take profit. So that would be this is your first take profit trade off a local swing failure. You risk half or 1% or whatever, and then you can make a 1 to 5 on your first take profit just on that trade. If you can get this kind of reaction, swing failure off that local high, little bearish flag. So you're planning this, aren't you? You're making a little trade plan, setting an alert, calculating your risk based on your portfolio. If you get the correct reaction in the correct circumstances, which is based on bearish order flow, which I'm seeing right now, you take the trade. If you don't get the trade, you don't get the trade. It's just life. You just have to wait for the next trade. Yeah, if it comes, you have an amazing trade. You have an amazing trade with a relatively high probability, and you could probably make your money quite quickly. And that's the kind of trade that traders are looking for. Otherwise, they just wait for the next trade. You short the short setup, and you're looking to long the long setup. It's another, in this context, it's a little scalp, isn't it? Down here, another swing failure, little scalp of that. Again, back into the first level of resistance, little scalp. Wait for the setup to short, wait for the setup to long. But I think probably heading down, probably. Like, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but just because of the context of where we are, we're underneath higher all-time highs. We're seeing some bearish CVD. I wouldn't long this. I'd be thinking to short. Yeah, that's what we think. That's probably why the altcoins are kind of bleeding a little bit. Yeah, sorry, I wasn't